And this is the 4th edition of the Massena Raiders Coaches Show. I'm Elijah Winfrey. Joining me is varsity football coach Taylor Zappia. Coach Zappia, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for coming down once again.
Yes, it's always a pleasure to come down to practice to kind of see how everything's done. And I appreciate the access, as I said before, to make this season as special as it can be, because it's shaping up to be a good one.
Yeah.
You guys are 3-0 going into this weekend. Let's talk a little bit about that last game against Ausable Valley. Just kind of want to give you the floor here. What did you think about that game with Ausable Valley, and what have you been stressing to your guys this week?
The big thing that obviously everyone kind of saw in that game is all the yellow all over the field. The flags, we need to get that taken care of. Very happy we were able to get the win, and hopefully, through these first couple practices, we were able to talk to the team and discuss how important that individual accountability is, which we stressed this week a ton. That's not acceptable. That's not the team we coach. That's not the type of team these guys are. So hopefully we will take care of that, because as we all know in this game, I'm just hoping. I told these guys we're lucky we got the win and we can move on from that, but we don't need to take a loss in order to learn that we can't be taking dumb penalties. But other than the obvious 100 penalties or whatever was on the field.
Flagapalooza. That's what I was calling it up in the booth, was Flagapalooza.
Other than that, man, the guys, we were running crisp routes. Eastwood felt really comfortable in the pocket. That's because of the offensive line. Ausable Valley had some big guys that were strong, and we once again showed that we were going to match toughness and we were going to back down from anyone, especially defensively. So really happy with how the guys performed. And like I said, we just need to take care of that other nonsense, and we'll be on our way. So,
what's that line, Coach? Because I know you want a tough team. I know you want a bunch of guys out there who are, as tough as a $2 steak, as you usually say.
Yep.
But what's that line between being tough and being mentally tough so that you can be disciplined enough to keep doing what you got to do, right?
Yeah. No, I was talking to coaches after the game. I go, listen, obviously we need to take care of the flags, but I've been praying for a group of guys like this for 11 years now. I told these guys we got free safeties, strong safeties, and corners that'll come up and hit like linebackers. I don't know if we've ever had 4 defensive backs and guys on the bench that are willing to come up and they're not afraid of anybody, right? So I take a lot of pride in that, and I know these guys do too. Like I told these guys, you have to play a little bit of an edge, but I think you need to know when to dial it back.
Yeah.
You need to know when that's hurting the team. And again, I know these guys are understood what kind of the mishaps we made, and I know we're going to correct it. So
now, as we head into this week, obviously you guys have got some stat leaders who are doing some big things out there. As far as New York State stats are concerned, I know you enter them every week, so this is not going to be a surprise to you, but for folks at home, quarterback Connor Eastwood is number 5 in the entire state when it comes to passing yards. Carter King is number 14 in rushing yards in the entire state. Garrett Weir is number 10 in the state for receiving yards, and Dominic Murtaugh is number 26 in the state for passing yards. I just want to reiterate for the audience at home, that's not Section 10 they're leading. That's not even Division B they're leading. That is statewide. I mean, it's been a while since we've had some players at that type of level here in Massena. I mean, how do you keep these guys with a level head? And also, how do you tell them to embrace the hard work, because they put it in?
Sure. Yeah, there's, no doubt we got a lot of skill on this team, and these guys are making, for the first 3 games, these guys have been making plays. And it all stems, as you know, from the offensive line. And these guys know that. So, the guys are getting put in situations to make plays, and they're making them. So we need to just continue to, practice hard and, keep making those plays when you get the opportunity. You might only get one opportunity a game, but make that play if you can. These guys know. Like, I like the stats, just to kind of, from a coaching point of view, to kind of see not only who's hot right now, who had a big game, for the kind of the next week's game plan, but kind of see if we're favoring one person. Maybe. Not the stats you see on Max Preps, but right and left, kind of my handedness as far as calling plays. So there's a lot of logistics that I like to look at just to make sure, kind of self-scouting stuff. When it comes to that, as far as stats. And these guys know, at the end of the day, they're kids, right? So they like to see the stats. They want to have a good game.
Right.
They want the stats. I get it, but they know, and I tell them all the time, it's not about you, right? If you want it to be about you, go play tennis, right? and they like that. So these guys, like I said last week, it's 0-0 with 1 to go, and that's going to be our motto: win, lose, or draw. The rest of the year, it's 0-0 with 1 to go. Each week is a new week. That's what's beautiful about this game. And these guys know it's time to clock in and go to work on Monday, whether you had 150 rushing yards or you had 0. So these guys have a good head on their shoulders when it comes to that.
As we turn the page to Malone, Coach, one of the things that I like to do on a personal level is I always find myself playing the more likely game, which is it more likely that it's this way or is it more likely that it's that way? And I feel like with Malone, they're coming in 1-2. I've heard from people already that they're like, oh, automatic win because they're 1-2, we're 3-0. And for me, I feel like what's more likely? Is it the fact that they played 2 of the best, squads in the North Country and Peru and Governor and they took their lumps? Or is it more likely that they completely fell off the wagon and you can just sleepwalk through this thing?
No, absolutely.
Easiest question I've ever asked you.
Yeah, right. No, absolutely not. There's not a team in high school football that you underestimate going into it. That's not the way this ball game works. Right? This is high school ball. Anything can happen. So we're going in. I mean, they beat us like 22-21, something like that. Last year, the first time we met. They're a 1-2 team. They want a win on our Hall of Fame day, and we're gonna come in with a chip on our shoulder and defend our turf, no pun intended, and give them our greatest attitude and our greatest effort. That's all we can do. But no, definitely not underestimating any team in the state.
Well, and I was telling folks, who obviously tune into my show on WMSA and things like that, as a fan, underestimating means finding something else to do with your time at 2:30 on Saturday instead of being here in the stadium. You want people here in the stadium, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, obviously the kids love it. We love it as a coaching staff. That's that home field advantage, that 12th man that I was talking about last week. I mean, being super loud on defense, maybe quieting it down a little bit on offense, but still being loud. We can deal with it. But no, we need all the people in the stands as we can and take that home field advantage. We can get it.
So, Coach, let's talk about the quarterbacks a little bit. Obviously, we know Connor Eastwood, and I was telling you kind of off the air that the 3 things I've been impressed with by him outside of the calm, cool collectedness that you want in your starting quarterback is the fact that he seems to have expert level ball placement. The risky throws for everybody else are not risky for us this season, knock on wood. He also seems to have eye-opening arm strength, and just overall he seems to have guts back there, that he's not afraid to stand back there and make that throw. On the other side of the field this weekend, you got another good one, and Logan Peck, senior quarterback from Malone. One of the things I noticed about him, and I never want to compare a high school athlete to a professional athlete, so I'll just say he seems to improvise a lot like, a particular quarterback from Seattle and Kansas City, just in the way that he'll just keep a play alive until somebody comes open. What type of challenge is that for your defense? And then in general, their offense, who all uses risk coach and they don't hardly huddle, combine those 2 things together for our audience at home. What makes that a challenge?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you have a really good athlete back there at quarterback and someone who's obviously not afraid to extend plays and wait till guys get open. Our number one kind of thing we're stressing this week with the defensive line is containing him, right? Rushing him, and containing him. Even if he's quick to leave the pocket, he's not out of the fight at all. So he will, he'll run all around, have a tough time containing. And then it makes it harder for our defensive backs because instead of defending these routes that we defend every day, the slant, the post, the whatever, now we're defending guys trying to get open, right? And almost a scramble drill, which is next to impossible to defend. So that's a challenge on our defensive ends this week, kind of getting a good rush on him, and not only getting a good rush on him, but containing him, so these guys don't have to cover, for 15, 20 seconds, because it's not fair to them. And I know they have very good receivers, so they will get open, and if the opportunity is there, they will make plays. So we're really stressing containing him this week, and as far as the risk coach stuff, they're gonna go quicker than normal. The good thing about that, hopefully from what I've seen and last year, is they're not in a whole ton of formations. So we're able to kind of see the formations, which is good and bad, I guess. But it's gonna be a new challenge for the defense, and these guys are definitely up for it. So.
And of course, you guys here at Massena Central, you got your Hall of Fame ceremony happening the night before at 6 o'clock in the cafeteria. Obviously, public is welcome for that. I noticed there was a name on the list, a Kaylee Zappia.
Yeah.
Any relation?
Yeah, sister. My sister, the toughest Zappia, getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, so we're all really proud of her, and that'll be really exciting. So.
All right, so obviously you're hoping that goes great. You're hoping for a win on Saturday.
Yeah.
Again, folks, kickoff is at 2:30 on Saturday between Malone and Massena. Coach, just last question here for you. Has there been anybody that maybe hasn't had the stats that you've been super impressed with this season, or maybe someone's doing really well in the classroom you want to give a shout out to? Feel free to, brag about multiple players if you want.
Yeah, I mean Jake Lindstedt is the guy who really stands out in my mind. We don't count the pancake blocks. I know that's on Max Preps, maybe next year. But no, Jake is he's one of our captains. He's an amazing leader. He's our left tackle. I kind of move him around here and there. Defensively, he's all over the place. He's tough. He's smart. He's fast. He's just all you want in a football player. And I really hope. I'd love to see him play at the next level. Obviously, that's his decision. But no, he's a guy that's not getting a lot of stats on Max Prep. But without him, man, he's one of the he's the backbone of this team. I would say. I would definitely say that. So, Jake Lindstedt.
All right, and folks, remember you got a boxing match disguised as a football game coming up on Saturday. Massena and Malone at 2:30. We're going to get you ready for it here on WMSA. It's the Huskies and the Raiders doing battle once again in Massena. Hope to see you there.